Hey guys, DarkStrider here. This is my first video, and what I wanted to do for my first video was talk about the 4 knives that I have carried, that I do carry. These are my EDC carry knives. I've got other knives, but these are the ones that I trust to have in my pocket. And I want to talk about the ins and outs of each one of them, and things I like about them and things I don't like. Let's start off. This is one that I've carried the longest. It's the the SOG Access card. It's a small knife. It's not that small. It's about a 2.5-inch blade, and it despite it being a really thin, it fits well in the hand, and I trust it. It's a nice knife. It's VG10 steel, and the only thing I would probably complain about on this knife is the fact that the finish doesn't hold up very well. But for something that's in your pocket all the time, and maybe mainly for opening boxes or cutting twine or doing whatever you do, this served me well for many years. I decided I wanted to do an upgrade. I wanted to upgrade what I was carrying, and I went with the Benchmade Osborne, and this is probably my favorite knife for form, fit, and function. It fits well in the hand. It's lightweight. Its balance is good. Comes out of the box sharp as sharp can be. And usually with some of the cheaper knives that I've ever bought, I have to take them out of the box, sharpen them for me to be really satisfied with the edge. But this holds a great edge, and it's pretty good. It ships with a painted clip, which you can see has been abused a little bit. If I was going to do it again, I'd probably get a deep carry pocket clip. You can see this one here. This much of the knife is sticking out of your pocket. But for all things considered, that's the complaint I have with that one. But it costs a bit. It costs $200. So I wanted something that was a little less money to hold in my pocket. So I went with a Spyderco Delicate 4. This is the stainless version. It's got stainless scales. And overall, it's a great knife. It's probably one of my favorite knives. I think it fits in the hand very well. It's great for little detail tasks. Great for everyday use. And then finally, I've got the Boker Quaken. I thought that this was going to be my favorite knife. I really felt like this was going to be the one I just had to have. And when I got it, I was a little disappointed. For me, a knife needs to be easy to open. I should be able to just very quickly, very easily, with minimal effort, get the knife open. And you can see with all 3 of these other knives, opening them is very simple. The only thing here with Spyderco is closing it. But I digress. This is not easy to open with one hand. There's a little ball detent in there in the action, and so to open it up, you really have to apply a lot of pressure, and that tends to make it jump out from underneath your thumb. And then once it's open, everything's fine with this knife. I really like this knife. I went with the orange scales. I thought they were going to be a little redder based on the picture that I bought from on Amazon, but overall, I like the way it is when it's open, but it doesn't open easily. Now that it may loosen up over time, but I don't think I'd recommend this as an EDC carry knife. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels, but it doesn't open really easy. So let's set this aside and focus on these other 3 knives. Would I recommend these 3 knives? I'd recommend all 3 of these knives. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if they're still making the access card. So the Benchmade, the Osborne, this knife is the epitome of what I expect in a good knife. If I need to, I can flick it open. If I want to open it, I'm able to open it with one hand. I'm also able to close it with one hand. Same goes for the SOG. I can open and I can close it with one hand. They have very similar actions. There's the axis lock on the Benchmade and a similar style on the SOG. And then you know, here, same thing with the Spyderco. I can open it with one hand very easily, and that's a must in my book. I've got to be able to open it. It takes two hands to close, or you know, you can sort of like wriggle it around and use your pant leg or whatever to close it up and call it a day. But those are my 3 EDC carry knives and the one that got away. I plan to do an in-depth video on each one of these knives, what I like, what I don't like, and we'll see how it goes from there. This is DarkStrider signing off.